Howdy. Uh, I made a bit of an oopsie yesterday. So, first of all, I'm going to make sure everything's working because last time I started talking about stuff beforehand and whatnot. My mic was off, so I'm going to make sure. The thing I'm looking at, the little bar, is showing me that my mic is on. I hope that is the case. So, OBS, please do not be deceiving me. So, here's the oopsie I made the other day. I was supposed to stream Elden Ring, not Yakuza. I completely forgot my own schedule that I set out for the week, and having to delay one of the streams by a day apparently was enough for me to be so thrown off that I forgot what game I was supposed to be streaming. So, instead of streaming Yakuza today, we're going to stream Elden Ring. Because we were supposed to stream that yesterday. So I ended up getting them backwards. Forehead. That's me. That being said, welcome back to the Elden Ring stream with the Squatch Challenge. We are at a good number of deaths at this point. I have yet to change like the title name from Yakuza to Elden Ring, so you're gonna be seeing me do that live. And also, it is currently the Thanksgiving in America, so I have nothing planned for that because I completely forgot when Thanksgiving was. And that's not even a joke in any capacity. I genuinely forgot when Thanksgiving was and was just like, I'll figure it out. So yeah, today's Thanksgiving, and I did not realize that, and literally until today. Yay! So probably not going to be a very active stream today, depending. But hey, you never know. Maybe when people are enjoying their turkey and their ham, they can pop by and just watch me be a goofball. But I feel like people have got better things to do than that. Anyway, we won't dilly-dally for any longer. We'll go ahead and just pop right in and get going. So, music, goodbye. And we are going to just go over here. All right, we have our death counter, so that's all good. Is the audio and everything all hooked up? It is not. Okay, good thing I checked that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had game audio. Okay. There we go. Elden Ring. All right. Okay, let me also just make sure that I am on the side right. I think, yeah, I think where I'm sitting right now is decent enough. I don't remember where we were last time, so it's going to be a refresher. Also, to nobody's surprise, I did not do any rune grinding because, one, I don't think I can get out of this spot without completing it. And we've also decided to go for the Dark Moon, to try and do a Dark Moon Greatsword build because I've never done one before and it might be fun. Also, in my testing of this, it's been kind of strong. So let's just see how fast we can eviscerate things. Apparently that fast. This is either going to be extremely easy or extremely hard. We'll figure that out as we go. Don't mind me, I won't mind you. What in the world are you? Gravel at this point. You are gravel at this point. I need my hip lantern. That should help me see better, as a lantern is generally supposed to do. Ah, I see you have chosen to participate in this. I would kindly ask that you cease your actions at once. I actually don't know what kind of damage this thing does. I would classify this damage type as a lot. I heard a bell. Bell. Horn. Those two things definitely sound similar. No one could it's such an easy thing to get mixed up. Like, who... It's so easy to mix a bell and a horn. Like, they sound so similar. Alright, let's see what we got. Also, this apparently does not seem to cost any MP or FP, which is, I'm gonna assume FP. So what damage does it do exactly? It's just magic. Okay, so it's not like frost or anything, it's just magic. I don't know what that counts as. It does have frost buildup. I don't know what frost does mechanically. So I wonder if there's a way I can... Okay, so I can't check it out, apparently. I'll have to just look that up later, I suppose. What is this? Smithing stone. Works for me. Also, that light up thing where you can start shooting the sword beam seems to last a decent amount of time. Also, did this thing say it scaled primarily on dex rather than strength? Okay, no, it scales the same way with dex and strength, but it has intelligence as its primary. What is our current intelligence? 40. Yeah, okay. We'll just, mosey on down. Oh, hi. I cannot remember if they made these things faster. I think they did. I'm sorry, but you have runes. And that's something of a helpful thing to me. And so far this has been a breeze. I wonder how fast this will turn around and become a horrifying thing. About that fast, I would say. Oh, I am so glad I checked this spot out first. This proves to be fantastic. Now, if I perish horribly, I don't have to run all the way back around. I'm probably going to need my mimic for this battle. Ah, a worm. How pleasant. Mimic, get him. This feels like it's going to work decently well. Aha! Wait, why am I not... There we go. Okay. I like this build. This is a fun build. This is a fair and balanced build. All right, that's why I was coming down here. There's the moon veil. I don't think we need that. I think the thing. Wait a minute. Can we equip moon veil? Let's see. Okay, so moon veil primarily scales with dex. And the Dark Moon Greatsword can be either dex or strength, but primarily scales with intelligence. Now the question is, because I never remember these things, does it increase when you rank it up? How many larval tills do I have? Three. So if I want to do an experiment with the moon veil instead of the Dark Moon Greatsword, then I'll have that as an option. So, first and foremost, actually, let me see. Okay, yeah, we can level up. How much? Just one. I think we're good on intelligence for a while. I feel like boosting either endurance or vigor is probably going to be our best bet, because it'll just make our physical defensive power go up, but also increase our stamina. So I'm going to go for that. Also, the swings of the Dark Moon Greatsword seem to eat up your stamina bar. And voila. Wait, Limgrave? Bye. Sure. I need to remember how I get over into this area. Because if I recall correctly, there were a couple of dragons that I didn't get to slay. I'm kind of tempted to try and fight them both. Assuming that... Oh, there's just a spirit there. Alright. Alright, so there's two of these guys here, so we're gonna have to be careful. Now, I wonder if there's a way to just lure one of them into a fight beforehand. Are you serious? You lift your head right then, huh? Well, that's half of his health gone already. So Frost built up, dealt some damage. Alright, this build is... I like this build. This build is, I've never tried this build before, so I'm actually kind of like, wow, okay, this is a good build. Are you serious? Alright, you got me. Fair enough. It flinches very often. I like that. It causes the enemies to hit that fall animation more often than I had expected it to. Okay, so we've just entered the levels of 2 flippin' strong, and I am all for this. That's 2 dragons down with minimal effort. I like this build. This is a good build. Were there other dragons around this area? Well, something looks like it knocked a tree over. So I'm going to assume yes. There are probably more dragons in this area. Like that dragon. Ponder yonder. I believe that qualifies. That was not far enough. Ouch, that was a lot of my health gone in a very quick amount of time. Now it is your turn. Much of your health gone in a very quick amount of time. I like this build. I like this build a lot. I'm one of those people that love when you can get yourself to a point where it's like, I am incredibly strong. It's one of those power fantasy deals. I like when you can do that. All right, let's get a scope of the area. Okay. Now, we have the Radon one, and his tower is right there. So, I've got to remember how you get into that thing. This is probably the part where I'm going to perish horribly, many times over, in fact. Because the greatest enemy in a FromSoft game is not the enemies, not the bosses, not even your own ineptitude. It is slight inclinations of the land. That's not the right word. Or is it? Elevation. That's what I was thinking. The thing I was looking to say was slight terrain elevations is the ultimate enemy of this game. All right, now I believe that you can just sort of get your way down there. Okay, so we have stronger enemies in this portion. Let's keep that on the back burner. Now, I believe the key is to go up. So, this will be a learning experience for all of us, I suppose. I did this once before. The keyword being once. And that was the only time I needed to do it. Was once. So let's hope that this is also one of those situations where I will only have to do so once. I think I've already failed. It does not help that it is dark. And I am somewhat perceptually challenged. Good sir, I would like to not fight you in this situation because there is a sharp and rapid fall, to say the least. Okay, so maybe I gotta climb down this way. That looks like a risky gamble. I don't think I think I just barely made that. That could have ended terribly. I keep meaning to sprint, but I end up jumping instead. I keep thinking I'm playing Yakuza. Hmm. I can't remember whose tower that is over there. It's around this spot ish. Can't recall who it's supposed to be though. Hmm. If people know like the direction I need to go for this, I am absolutely all ears. Perfectly willing to hear out any directions. I also hope chat is just working in general. Probably should look up a guide. Because if I don't, I am very, 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 very likely to perish horribly. Multiple times, in fact. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm rather than gallivant around not knowing where I'm going, I should probably go ahead and just look up the Radon Tower and not die repeatedly over and over again. Let's see what we got. Okay, I've got the look. Sorry, I've got the guide to help me out here. Okay, so hmm. So oh, whoops. I I did not calculate that right. Let's do the squats then. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's try that again with less death. So the dude I was watching for the guide just stayed on torrent. which is probably a good idea because Torrent can do that. I'm also going to have to go pick up my runes first. And the guard there is back. I'm going to just go ahead and... There we go. Now, if I just call Torrent... There we go. Now, the guide went this way. So with that, let's see where that heads. Oh, I was not paying attention at all to my screen. Okay, so I think maybe it is this way. It was a little dark in the guide, so I'm not entirely sure. Let's see, does he go up this ladder? It looks like he does. No. Okay, so I just kind of went in a circle then. Not mean to do that. Dude gets on torrent. Heads this way. Why would I not just jump to this platform? Oh, okay. I think I get it. I think I get it. I don't get why the dude didn't just jump onto that platform from the start, but I get how this is supposed to go, I think. I'm gonna keep the guide up though, just in case. Apparently torrent is very helpful in this portion. Let's see. Yee, that rides that edge a little closer than what I would feel comfortable with. Ah, okay. I thought that was gonna last a lot longer. Okay. Easy enough, I suppose. If you know what you're doing, then you're good, I guess. So, will this just lead me right to the rune? Do I not take a big old elevator thing? Ah, okay, there's the elevator. What's the other direction lead to, I wonder? Before I head on up, I'm very curious. Where does the other direction go, if it goes anywhere? If there's a boss in this direction, I'm just gonna Hmm. It's not a boss, but the more I use this build, the more I like it. I hear footsteps, and that makes me uneasy. Oh, this looks like a trial all on its own. I don't know about this one, Chief. Cannot open from this side. Yeah. I'm just gonna go to the top over here. I don't think I need to worry about that just right now. Yeah. We're good. We're fine. Okay. But yeah, I am actually I'm a fan of this Moonlight Greatsword build thing. I'm a fan of this. This is good. And we have the Moon Veil Katana. So if we want to work with that one later down the line, then we can. We've got our hands on some good build options, but not enough larval tiers to do that. I'm fairly certain that you could mod it to where you could just keep changing all that. That's definitely got to be a mod somewhere. But I don't know how to mod this game, nor do I want to invest in the time to try and figure out how to learn how to mod it, because I don't actually think the game really needs mods. The only thing I would actually say that I would use as a mod is, as I described, just so that I could get more larval tiers just artificially so that I could work with build varieties. I get that breaks the game, but I've already beaten the game before, so it's one of those situations of what's it matter? Okay, so we've got this. If I'm so curious about something. Probably not gonna work, but could be fun to test. I also have no idea how many death roots I have. Do I have death roots? Would they be key items? Yeah, I have one death root. I also have this prosthetic limb. There is a thing I haven't got my hands on yet, and I kind of want to get my I have 11 dragon hearts. That is a lot more than I expected. I don't know where the other one of this is. The Haligtree secret medallion. I don't know. I don't remember where the other one is. I'm gonna leave you to that, fella. You do you. So what does Radon's do? Raises maximum HP, FP, and stamina. And this raises all attributes. I'm probably just really dense, but I'm not actually seeing much of the difference, so I'm going to just be analyzing this. It doesn't look like it changes it that much. I'll switch over to the Radon one for now. And if I don't feel like it's doing like the bigger impact than I think it's doing, then I'll just work with it. Okay, I think I see the difference. I think. I'm not going to guarantee that because I'm dense as doornails. Oh, good. I can summon my Mimic. Now, Mimic, I'm going to ask that you be patient because I have no idea how well this is going to go. This is why great swords are awesome to me. Just that flinch. Just when you can do that, that feels impactful. Now he dodged. Oh, that's gonna hurt me. Oh, come on. You are so close to dead. Do not do this to me. Aha! Oh my word. How many runes did that just net me? I just saw my runes skyrocket. That's gotta be a lot of runes. The swords. What swords did we get? We got the Gargoyle's Black Blade, which is a faith weapon, I think. Skills on strength and faith. And we got the spear, which is also strength and faith. A little bit of dex as well. But why would we use that when we literally have probably the weapon that is best for me? And I specifically say for me because it's literally a swing things, swing it, and see the HP bar just go down. I think I'll keep the Radon one. Perhaps that little bit of extra stamina, HP, and endurance is just gonna be... Mwah. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna just go for endurance, and I'll go ahead and just put dexterity up a bit, just so that we've got strength and dex both at 16s. Or I could put mind up a little bit. I'm gonna just go ahead and do this just so that we've got a round out stats. I'm so tempted to fight this guy, but I'm not going to, because 1, you can get stuff from him. 2, he's a tough fight. And 3, he's not even doing anything. Like he ain't bothering us. Like, look at this. He don't even care. He's just like, bring me death roots. I wonder if you can see the armor under the cloak. Nah, I don't think it's visible. I'm very curious if you can like see the like canine aspect of him under the cloak, like if the model's under there. Probably not. It's probably a different model that they have under there that they swap out when they switch the fight. Okay, so who have we fought at this point? We fought Estelle. We we have fought both versions of the deer. And we fought Radon. We fought the dragon down here. Oh, I know someone we haven't fought yet. I know someone we haven't fought yet. He's suffering right now, so it'd probably be best to take him out. Like, he's kind of going insane.
No. I'm part of her very being. I could never betray her. No matter what might happen. Ronnie. She needs me.
So, I personally have not fully grasped what exactly happens to Blythe. From what I understand, because Blythe is a part of her, like, physical being, because she is basically off doing her own thing in, like, a different dimension, it's driving him insane. Because I think, like, part of what he is, like, the part that of him that isn't a beast is like slowly fading away as this happens. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that he is technically suffering. Probably would be best to not let that continue. Problem is, he's very agile. And hits like a truck. See what I mean? Hits like a truck. I can't actually, I don't think I can even summon my mimic to fight him right now. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Something I've noticed, I've seen other VTubers and streamers in general have on their streams that I was thinking of setting up. There's like a wish list thing, and I honestly just kind of was wondering how one sets it up, because I thought it would be fun. I wouldn't know what I would put on it just yet, because I don't know what, like, the limitations are, but it would be fun, I think, because who knows if this goes on a bit more and everything. Could be just a fun little thing. You never know who's gonna be like, I'm gonna get you that desk or something like that. I'm sorry, Blythe. No, Ronnie. He's my dog now. I'll do it. You are such an agile dude. We got him done pretty good, though. Perhaps getting into a less narrow space will be something that can help us out. One, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. I should at least see if I can summon the mimic tier. Does not look it. All right. I'm gonna just collect my runes real fast. All right. All right. Ooh, that could have hurt. Much like how this is going to hurt. Wait, no, I didn't mean to do that. That was the wrong button. Okay, rebuild that stamina. Oh, Blythe. This is like putting down Old Yeller. It's not a pleasant thing. All right, you good. And now we've got Blythe's entire armor set. You get Blythe's sword, but I've not actually done anything with Blythe's stuff. Because one of the reasons why I don't use Blythe's armor is because it doesn't work well with this helmet. Now, maybe if I take the cape off, it could help, but I'm not sure. Let me switch this to this one again. However, his gauntlets, on the other hand, aren't so bad, I think. I think they're a pretty good tier up from normal. Obviously, the Banished Knight and Scaled Gauntlets are a bit more, but they do take up a lot more equipment load. Also, Blythe's gauntlets do just kind of look pretty sick. They look better when you have like his full armor set, though. As for this, it's the right one, yeah. These, I think, work well with like this top piece because they're a little more ragged. This is kind of rusty and aged a bit, but this just kind of looks more like leather bound with a bit of armor intertwined. I feel like it matches a little bit better with the sort of waist skirt thing that we've got going on. I think it matches a little better. So let's head inside. Take a gander if... Wait. Not head inside. Is it... Yeah, Bach. Well, we'll go to Bach instead. Because Bach won't charge us anything if we ask him to change the appearance of our equipment and stuff. Also, he did kindly ask us to go to him.
Bok the seamster, at your service, master. ready to...
All right, Buck, let's see what you got. So if I change this, it's going to lower the stats a bit. But I'm very curious.
Oh, please do.
Don't worry, Buck. I did change that, didn't I? Yes, I... Yeah, okay. It's still kind of up a little more than I would hope it to be. Like if I got it on this one, it kind of goes over the shoulder a little bit nicer. Same thing with this one. This one does do the over the shoulder thing, which I do like, but this little gap right there on the neck, I'm not a fan of that. Let's see, this one, the gap, I think it has it slightly, but because of the pauldron, you don't notice it as much. So I'll go ahead and put the cape back on. Let's see. I'm just kind of going through some of these and seeing what they do to the stats.
Oh, please.
I wish I could find a better like helmet piece that would do what this one kind of does, but just without the actual helmet. I suppose this one comes close, but it doesn't quite look the way I want it to. Like, it's too clean, I suppose, is the thing I'm thinking of here. Like, this has that very worn and torn kind of look, which I like. But not everything kind of fits that very well. So this'll still do for now. I will, however, probably go ahead and just amp up my armor to the scaled armor. This one's too bulky for my liking, but the scaled armor has a sleeker look to it. Fashion Souls is what we're at right now. Because I feel like we're going to need the stat effects of these things. Blythe's armor looks nice, but I don't know if it's going to be the most effective. Go ahead and just go for the full scale. I really wish the pouches were not there. Let me see what the brandish knight ones look. I think I don't like it because of the boots. Also, it's this is the coat line that I don't like. If I take the cape off, does it take the pouches off? Let me see. No, it does not take the pouches off.
Oh, please.
Don't worry, Blythe. Blythe. Not Blythe, Bot. Now, if I recall correctly, there be some bosses here we did not take on. Let's fix that. I've got my most trusted ally, the one person who I can always count to let me down. Myself. Alright, so we got these dudes. Now, I think if I just move here, he'll start walking down that way while that guy stays there. So if I just wait here for a bit for that guy to make his round and go over there, I can start fighting this guy and it won't be as much of a hassle. So summon the Mimic. Drink your pots. Cast your spell. and blast away. Ouch. There we go. And that's the first one down. Didn't get any runes from that, it would seem. I hope that mimic does not disappear suddenly, because that would be a problem. There we go. Woo! Ouch. My sword ran out of batteries. Jeez, that is so much damage. Okay. There we go. We got the runes out of that. And we got a shield, which we will probably never use. Well, let's see. I've never actually used a shield in this game. Hello, good evening. Leon Harstel? Oh, thank you for the follow. I'm sorry I can't pronounce your name properly. Leon Harstel. Welcome to the stream. Oh dear, I just looked at OBS and the light has started changing color. I have to check my Wi-Fi to make sure that it is not going to crash. 1 second. Okay. It was just a minor hiccup in the Wi-Fi. It wasn't like a, oh goodness, we're all going to, we're going down. But hi, welcome in. Is it fine if I just call you Leon? You know, like from the zombie game? Wi-Fi go burr? It more like it go, oh. Anyway, we are playing some Elden Ring, and we're doing a squats challenge. We've gotten pretty far, and by pretty far, I mean, I think, like, we're halfway through the game at this point. Maybe, it depends on how you measure the far you can go, because at this point, there's technically only 3 more required bosses before the final 2 bosses. But I like to fight a lot of bosses. Yep, everyone else does. Lol. But yeah, we're doing the squats challenge. We're currently at 141 deaths. And we're keeping things generally well. Also, as you can probably see, you're a little Pokemon on the screen. If you know what Stream Avatars is, you know the gist of it. But if you look down, if you're on PC, if you scroll down to the About section, you can find the Stream Avatar thing and pick out whatever Pokemon you like. I don't think there are any restrictions. I think you can just pick whatever you want, and they come in color varieties, so have fun. Now, with that being said, I have to figure out what the next thing we're going to fight is, because I'm feeling the gargoyle that shows up around here. Why am I not getting on torrents? I have a horse. Why not use it? Yeah, Darkrai. We're going full force on it. Not gonna lie, I don't care how edgy people consider Darkrai. I think the Darkrai's design is kind of cool. Like, Darkrai's got a pretty sick design. I get it's like the, it's so edgy kind of deal, but it's still a cool design. Who cares if it looks a little edgy? Darkrai is my favorite. Nice. Darkrai's not my favorite Pokemon, and he's not my favorite legendary. I don't think. I haven't thought about that in a bit. But my favorite Pokemon is just it's like the most biased pick possible because it was my very first starter Pokemon, which was Torterra. And yeah, I'm using the third evolution as a basis because it's the one that I spent the most time with when I was picking Pokemon up for the first time. All right, we've got a Gargoyle to fight. We didn't defeat it last time because we were using a katana, which is not very effective against it. This is why I like great swords. Great swords are kind of effective on most things. Ouch. My inner Pokemon nerd is coming out right now. Darkrai is actually a mythic Pokemon, not legendary. They're kind of... I get that they're different classifications, but they are sort of in the same, like, wheelhouse, I think. I think the only difference between classification is that there are multiples of mythics, whereas there are only singulars of legendaries. I think that's, like, the distinct difference. But I don't remember what the distinct difference between them is. Of course, you get on a slight incline. Gotcha! Now we got the big ol' axe. Which we will probably not use because the Moonlight Greatsword has been... I've never... Like I said, this is the first time I've used a Moonlight Greatsword build, and I am already really, really liking it. I can see why the Moonlight Greatsword's kind of good. I say that right now, but there's probably some glaring weaknesses that it has. Wait, was that a boss? Kind of. It was... The way I usually classify bosses in this game is does an HP bar appear? Then it's a boss. But that's sort of like a mini boss, I suppose, like a semi-boss, because it's big, it's tough, it's scary, but it didn't get the health bar, so it's not classified as one. Let's see, there's a couple of things around here I think I remember being absurdly terrified about. I think up there was one of the said things. Now, I think I have to go through here and around this spot. I think that's where I'm supposed to go, but I'm scouring around looking for stuff to fight. Everything in this game terrifies me. FromSoft. We make things that are scary. Because everything has the potential to cause you absolutely game-ending deaths. If I shoot this forward, will it go through all of them? Why did it go... Okay, so it doesn't do what the one thing does. Ring Elden. That's close, Pop Dog. That's close, but not quite the right thing you're going for there. Also, I didn't know stream started when I pinged you. Sorry about that. Don't worry about it. Also, you pinged me? Wait, when did you do that? I can't hear when Discord or anything. I don't think I hear when Discord or anything goes off when I'm streaming because I have streamer mode automatically turn on when I'm on Discord. Like 5 seconds ago. Okay. I don't think I get pings when I'm streaming. Because Discord has like a streamer mode thing, which I think makes everything quiet so that you don't get distracted while streaming. Let me see. Okay, I see. I see. I just saw what you posted in the meme section with Discord light mode. I don't know what insane person uses Discord light mode, but why? Why would you do this to yourself? Why would you subjugate yourself to such pain? I feel like I hear a beetle. Because I do hear a beetle. There's a light mode? Yes. There's a light mode. And they are intelligent enough to know to not have that be the default. But it's in like the personal settings. If you go under personal settings, you can find it. Because it's a nice mode. It helps me see it better. Does it? My guy, your retinas are gonna be on fire. I'm dark mode, like, all the way. Low pain, light, all the way. I like to see. Alright, so, you see that guy?
I see thee.
That guy was an imposter.
Smoldering with that wretched flame of ambition.
So you see, this guy was a boss. But, now he's not. I think this is one of the game's way of showing you how much you've progressed. Because I think he's at the exact same level of strength as when you initially fought him. But... my guy, you have very patient attacks. Oh, come on. You're the one that knocked me all the way over here. Don't make me have to walk all the way back. Ow. Will you... Thank you. Did I pick up my runes? Yes, I did. My retinas will be trained in the blazing sun for as long as I command it. Eesh. The fact that you can hold conversation while fighting these guys. Am I, though? Am I really holding the conversation? I feel more like I'm dragging the conversation. Elden Ring on level 7 was actually not that bad until I reached this guy. I don't think I've gotten to, like, the 7th level variants of this game. Ever. And I don't think I plan to ever do so, because I like to play games when they're fun, not when they make me want to give up on streaming. Hi. Goodbye. Also, the fact that I can maintain conversation with this is more so a testament to the fact that I've gotten better at streaming and managing to keep up as much as possible, but also a testament to just how strong the Dark Moon Greatsword build is. And these guys don't really count because I'm used to fighting these guys. I used to farm runes with these guys. Like these big giant things. That's when the talismans that protect me from being one-shot failed me. Oof. As someone that hasn't progressed past the first corner of the map, is there actually an Elden Ring? Yes. It was shattered across all of the lands between. Just to give you a lore perspective, because this is interesting. You see that number down in the... Hang on. You see that number down there? Right there? You see that number? 2,700. It's 27,681 runes. Fun fact. Those are all part of the Elden Ring. All the runes that exist throughout the entirety of this game were once a part of the Elden Ring. That includes the great runes that the like primary bosses hold. That includes like the heroes runes and stuff. How many runes are there? Technically in the lore, I don't know, but I know in game infinite. There's an infinite number of runes like mechanically in the game. But lore-wise, I believe that's the actual reason why when you slay an enemy, why you get runes instead of like souls and whatnot. It's because the power of the Elden Ring has been shattered and scattered all across the lands between. And because when you take in runes when you level up, that's you becoming stronger. That's why when you fell a great enemy, why you get so many runes. That's what was making them stronger. The Elden Ring is like a source of power, which is why the great runes are like greater sources of power. It's why like demigods like Radon and Mikola are so dang powerful. Like, on top of dropping a ton of regular runes, they also drop a great rune. Now, don't quote me verbatim on that, but... Sorry, let me rephrase that. Don't quote me directly on that, I meant to say. Because I'm not, like, a historian. I'm not huge on, like, understanding every intricacy about the lore. I just pick up what I think is interesting. And for me, that was just something that I thought was interesting. Let's see if I'm in the right direction. Yes, I am. But I think a similar case was for Dark Souls. Like the original Dark Souls, I think the reason why you got souls was because you were literally taking souls. And that's why you got stronger when you used the souls. Not entirely true. Okay, let's see what I was mistaken on. Runes and the Elden Ring aren't part of each other. Related absolutely, but they existed long before the Elden Ring broke. However, your theory opens up a very interesting fact about the Elden Ring is made of what the Elden Ring is made of. From what I understand, it's like all like runes are like essences of the divine or like the greater will. I think that's one of the lore factors of the game is like every rune is like an essence that's like fragment memory left behind of like the greater will and other like divine beings and stuff that exist in this world. Oh, hello. Let's ask George R.R. Martin. I can't remember. Didn't George R.R. Martin help write some of the story elements of this? Ouch. I think he did. Hot take from probably someone that you wouldn't expect a hot take from. Yep. Yes, he did. Okay. Here's a hot take. Probably controversial take at that. I'm not a fan of George R.R. Martin's work. I don't know if that is a major hot take, but I'm not actually a huge fan of his work. I'm not saying his work's bad, I'm just not a fan of it. Okay, probably should take care of the arrow guy first. Arrow guys. Multiple. It's okay, I'm not a huge fan either. Okay. If I remember correctly, he wrote the past Elden Ring. Everything else was written by Miyazaki. Ouch. All right, you've been far too much of a nuisance. Come here, you. Perish. But yeah. While I'm not a huge fan of R.R. Martin's work, I definitely got to say there's some creativity going on there. Which is, given that, you know, if I remember correctly, R.R. Martin was the one who wrote the, what was the series? Why am I blanking on the series? It's like one of the most popular fantasy series, like, put to film and on books. Lord of the Rings? I don't think it was Lord of the Rings. King of... No. Why can I not remember? It's like... It's literally like the throne. The thing with the throne made of swords. Also known as Game of Thrones. Thank you. I do not know why I was blanking on Game of Thrones. I have heard that been talked about so much. I haven't watched it much myself. Or read it much myself because it didn't interest me very much. But I don't know why I was blanking out on it. I had friends in high school that would not stop talking about it. But yeah, Game of Thrones. If you have Elden Ring lore, I can definitely provide if you like. Did you mean to put want instead of have? Like, if you want Elden Ring lore? I do find myself very interested in the lore of it. I'm not usually into like darker, more gritty storytelling. Not usually. It takes a very specific style that hits specific notes that I like, and Elden Ring is kind of one of them. I didn't initially find myself very drawn to it, but when you start playing it and experiencing it, it hits a little differently than when it's just told to you. This is why I think video games are such a cool medium. It can take a concept of a story that you would either read or watch that you wouldn't normally be interested in, and can really draw you in because you're a part of the story as opposed to an observer. That's so cool, is it not? Is that not just such a cool thing about video games? All right, Tree Sentinel. And this one's the steroid one. So let's take this cautiously. And this might be the time where I probably can't keep up with chat. I love this sword. What draws me to Elden Ring is honestly the environments. They're dark and bleak, but there's still a beauty to them. I think that's a very common thing when it comes to interesting environmental storytelling. Game audio fumbling? Yeah, I meant what? I'll take a look at the game audio just to make sure that it's all good. Okay, we got another shield. We got the Dragon Claw shield that time. Every time you talk, it cuts out. Okay. Wait, you mean the actual game audio? Okay. No, that's actually a thing I was meaning to fix before. I have an audio ducker so that when I talk, the game's audio goes down a bit. But I think it's a little harsher than what I wanted it to be. And I don't know how to change it properly. So it's something I have to work with. Let me see if I can't fix it up. Oh, thanks for the reclaim there, Pop Dog. Let's see. I think it's the... Is it the output or the threshold? I know it's picking it up from the mic. I spent all of my money on that one. You didn't spend any money on that one. I see what you mean. I understand the joke. Let's see. If I turn this down, it still seems to drop the audio. So switch it back. Perhaps it's the ratio. If I turn the ratio down, does that help? Let me see. Do you turn it up instead of down? Up instead of down? Okay, that looks like it hit harder. If I turn this to here, it's still ducking down. Is it... Interesting. This is not a good time to be messing around with stuff, but I'm gonna try to do something. And if it messes up the audio, I'm sorry in advance. Let's see if that helped at all. Looks like it's still kind of going down. If I turn the threshold down, does that change it at all? Does it change it at all? It does not. Okay. I might have to take a moment of reprieve to try and fix this. Let me just take a look at my filters. Wow, that is a lot of stuff. Let me just... Okay, my audio files. My filters are kind of all over the place. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the away screen real quick. I shouldn't be long, but if this is an audio problem, it's something that needs to be fixed post-haste. So I will be back in a moment. I should probably get some music. Let me pull some music up so people aren't just sitting in silence. Pop Dog, I can still read the chat. Okay. I need to be on this screen so that I can adjust the audio stuff. I can still see chat. I've been keeping up with chat the whole time. And I guess since I'm going to be here fixing this, I can go ahead and try and talk while I'm at it. So first and foremost, Pop Dog. You want to get addicted to Warframe again? Honestly, base. I feel that. I love Warframe. It's a really fun game. You might also hear a little bit of the game audio in the back. I do apologize if there's a little bit of overlap while I'm adjusting stuff. I'm almost done. Okay, I think that should do just fine. Now I just need to make one last adjustment. Turn that ratio around here. Let's see if I turn the ratio up to here. Now up to here. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. How about now? No, still doesn't seem to be doing anything. Zephyr always been my favorite. I'm so glad that they changed the first ability into the second best ability in the kit. My favorite frame is one that no one likes to get because the acquisition for their completion is one would describe as physically painful. Okay, that's gonna have to do for the audio for now. The Time Lord? Sevagoth. Sevagoth is one of my favorites because you can build him in such a varied amount of ways. My particular favorite way is to do Sevagoth himself as a AoE stat applier and then switch to his shadow as basically a gather up everything into a big ball of meat and then shred it. It's a fun build to me. My 3 favorite frames in Warframe are Sevagoth, Excalibur, Umbra specifically, and probably a strong tie between Baruch and Nidus. Because Baruch can just delete enemies through stats and damage, and Nidus is fun to play solo. Not my personal favorite, but I see why they are so good. It's more about the play style, not about how effective they are. I'm more a fan of... The best way I can describe it is I'm a fan of play style over play effectiveness. I don't usually like to play... The styles that I like to play are usually not the ones that are the most effective in the game. Now, sometimes that correlates, and I do like to play the ones that are most effective. A great example of this is in tabletop games. I play a lot of Pathfinder 2nd Edition with some friends. My favorite class to play in Pathfinder 2nd Edition is the Barbarian. And if anyone knows... My controller gave up. If anyone knows anything about the Barbarian in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, it's a good class. It does well. But in terms of effective build capabilities, it has one rule that the rage thing that the Barbarian has one rule to it that makes it incredibly hard for like maximizing damage potential and the like. And it's that when you rage as a Barbarian, you cannot do actions that have either the concentrate or I can't remember what the other thing was. You can't do anything that has either the concentrate or not manipulate. I know you can still do manipulate. It's something specific. I can't remember. Basically, if it requires you to slow down and concentrate on something, you can't do it. So if you're raging, here's the list of things you can't do. You cannot cast spells, do anything that requires verbal components aside from yelling, if it has the rage trait. And then you also have actions that are like gathering information. So if you want to do a recall knowledge check, you can't do that because that's a concentration thing. If you want to try and study the enemy in any capacity, you can't do that. If you want to try and deceive them, you can't do that. Basically, if it requires any amount of thinking, you can't do it. And that makes it very hard to build with other classes in a specific way. With the only exceptions that I have seen being is if you're doing dual class, which me and my friends like to play with dual class, which is really hard when you favor Barbarian. And we have a rule where we don't double down really hard on martial classes or spell classes because it's a little too strong. Barbarian Fighter is probably one of the best class combinations you can get, because the Fighter has the best on dice to hit ratio, and the Barbarian has the best damage potential ratio. And I specifically say damage potential ratio as being the number of actions and the number of actions and costs that you have to make to get the maximum amount of damage. I'm about to go into a tangent here real quickly, but basically, here's a comparison. There's a class called the Rogue, and the Rogue has a special thing in it called Sneak Attack. Whenever you are hitting an enemy that is either flat-footed or has a specific condition or situation that is classified to the type of subclass of Rogue that you are, you deal extra damage. You deal specifically at level 5, I think it's 2d6 extra damage, which is pretty good. But you require a very specific circumstance for that to happen. Now, you have the tools to create that circumstance, but you have to create that circumstance. It's now not called flat-footed, it's now called off-guard. The off-guard condition can come from either an enemy having been tripped and is now prone, there's another ally on the opposite side of the enemy giving you flanking, things like that. I've never played Pathfinder, but I'm doing my best to understand. Don't worry, you won't need to understand a lot of the rules with this one. Are we talking about rogues in here? Yes. The basic gist is this. Rogues require a setup. They have to set up something for them to get their potential damage. There's another class that does the same thing, but their setup's a bit different. There's another class called the Magus. It's basically you imbue spells into your weapon and then strike with that weapon. Now, there are costs. One is it costs more actions to do so. There's an action economy in the system, and you spend a number of actions to do something. And you only have a certain amount of actions. Everyone does. And the Magus has to expend spells. Spells are a resource, and when they are expended, they are gone. It's like drinking a potion. If you drink a potion, you're down a potion. If you cast a spell, you're down a spell. So the Magus has to set up that spell and then attack with it. And they use that spell with that attack. They get a great deal of damage from doing so, but they have lost a resource to do so, and they can't do it indefinitely. The Barbarian, and why I say it is the best attack damage potential ratio, is for two reasons. One, the only requirement that the Barbarian has is that you hit the enemy. That's it. You roll the dice. Does the dice hit the enemy? Congratulations, you are dealing your best possible damage. And the second thing that makes it great is that it is a flat damage increase, not a dice damage increase. There's two types of damage that you can boil down to. You're adding more dice, or you're adding a number. And adding a number is rare. You very rarely add a number, just a flat number to your damage. It is usually, and if you do add a flat number, it's usually small. It's not it is not a big number. It's like 1 or 2. That's it. The Barbarian gets flat damage out the gate for every attack that they do. And that's why I call it the best damage ratio. It's, if you hit something, you're going to deal good damage consistently. And that's why I think it's the best damage ratio one. The downside is the penalties to it. And it's a trade-off, but I like the risky play to it. Barbarians have the most HP in the game. Like, they're the class with the most HP. So things are going to, but they take a penalty when they're raging to getting hit. So you're going to get hit more often. So which is why you have the most HP. But not that much AC. Their AC scaling is about the same as I think a spellcaster's AC scaling. So it's not that great. But when you have a lot of HP, it works well. And if you're playing with a group that aren't doing massive stuff, then it's a lot easier. I will say this. Barbarian is one of those classes where if you're just playing with one class and maybe a couple of archetypes, you're probably going to have a lot of fun. If you're doing dual class, you better know how to build or you're going to have a lot of struggles. Because when you're dual classing, numbers get so much higher for your level. Like, if you're just playing one class, like if you're just single class, like if you just got a barbarian and that's it, you'll do pretty good. You'll have a fun time. But if you're dual classing, you're treated as if you are one level higher, which means the damage numbers get higher, but your health does not scale to that. So the advantage that the barbarian gets from having that HP is a little bit lessened by the fact that you are treated as a level higher. So you're getting hit with enemies that are going to be naturally dealing more damage anyway. Now, compare that to something like, say, the wizard, and you're going to be a little bit happier to have that little bit of extra HP. But it is one of those things where it's like you're not going to be tanking as good as, say, a champion, which is like, to be fair, that's a bit of a jump. The champion class in Pathfinder 2nd Edition is probably the best class for tanking. Specifically. And the reason I say that is because there's two types of tankings. There's two types of tanks in any kind of RPG, tabletop, or even just MMORPG game. There's two types of tanks. You have the damage reduction tank, which is you hit me, you've dealt either no damage or minimal damage, or the HP tank, which is you hit me and you hit me for a lot, but my HP pool is so absurd that it basically didn't do anything. That's the two types of tanking you've got. And the damage reduction tank is technically the better one, because if you are reducing the amount of damage that the enemy you're facing deals, then you can kind of handle it a little bit easier than the big HP tank. Now, HP tanking can be effective, but it does require a bit more effort. Yeah, because it's easier to heal. Yeah. Because this is the way I would say that makes it why one tanking is a little more effective than the other. Let's provide an example. Let's say I am a barbarian with 100 HP. I am facing a boss, and I have got to stay on the front lines and take the hits for my allies. I need to be the one taking those hits because my allies cannot. Now let's, in this hypothetical situation, say I get hit and I get a huge amount of my HP taken. The example I would give is this, let's say I lost 30 HP in that. That's a pretty decent amount of HP lost. Now, if my allies had gotten hit with that, it'd be even more critical to them in that way. Let's put a pin in that, though. Melania's, she's talking.
For bringing me to the base of the earth.
Not Melania, but meh.
Here, I can govern my own movement, and thus, the accord is fulfilled. I shall depart to ascertain the purpose I was given. Farewell. I shall leave Torrent, and the power to turn runes into strength. Here, with you, I wish you luck in realizing your ambition. You have fought long and hard. I have no doubt you will become Elden Lord. May you take the throne.
I suppose we have returned to being maidenless. So, to restate, in our hypothetical situation, let's flip the script. So, as the barbarian, I lost 30 HP. And then the cleric, during their turn, chooses to heal me. And they only heal me for about 15. So they've gotten half of what I lost back. That's not bad. But on the flip end, now let's say I'm a champion with a shield and an absurd AC. First of all, the boss is most likely going to have a hard time even hitting me because my AC is absurd. And if I raise my shield, it gets even more absurd. If they even do hit me, I can reduce the amount of damage. So let's hit that statement again. Let's say in this hypothetical, I also get lost for, they deal 30 damage. I would use my shield block reaction, which is a thing that a champion can do, and I can reduce the damage. If I'm using the right type of shield, I can reduce the damage up to a number of points that's nuts. So I could reduce it by 10. So now they've only dealt 20 damage to me, assuming they've managed to hit me. And when that goes around, while I have lost 10 HP and my HP pool is not as massive as the barbarians, once the cleric gets their turn and they heal me, they healed me for 15, like in our hypothetical. Now I've gotten back 15 HP instead of... So I've gotten back 15 HP, which is the same amount, but in terms of the percentage of health you get back, it's a... I only had 5 more HP remaining for me to go back to full health. So it's a 75, if I'm doing the math right, it's a 75% increase of returning health as opposed to a 50%. And that might not seem like a lot, but in a battle, in tight battles of especially number games, it's a lot. I played a lot of tabletop with friends and I have a lot of fun with it, if you can't tell. I would honestly love, I would absolutely love to get into like a stream with tabletop using the Pathfinder 2e system, because as it currently stands, Pathfinder 2e is my favorite tabletop system to play in. I've not played a lot of them, mind you. I've not played a lot of them, but they are it is an incredibly fun system. I enjoy the action economy. I like the way the feats work, the skills and all that. I like a lot about it. That being said, I will no longer be going on with the tabletop stuff. I had gone on a bit of a tangent there, but I'm a bit of a fanatic when it comes to that sort of stuff. Now for Elden Ring. So here's something, Pop Dog, you are the lore man here. If I recall correctly, that is not a statue. That is just that is the corpse of a dragon that is just left behind, because for some reason dragons turn into stone when they die. And that thing is massive. I also think that is its spear, not like a giant's spear or anything. I think that spear was the weapon of the dragon itself, which is interesting to think about because that means that dragons understand weaponry. And I'm like, why does that thing need a weapon? It kind of is one. That's like the best comparison I could give that to. That's like a sword wielding another sword. It's like a sword wielding another more deadlier sword. And you're just like, were you not already deadly enough? Ouch. I am not close enough for that. My sir, you are very annoying. Yeah, that's a dead dragon. His name is Grenex. It was the first to pierce the walls of the city. I think it happened either during the War of the Dragons or it started the war. If I had to guess, given the sheer size of it and that we do not see oops, I bumped my microphone. That we do not see another dragon of any size even close to that, I'm going to say that guy started it. Oh, hi. Also, if I remember correctly, there's a thing around here. Yeah. Ouch. By the way, that was just a dragon. Powerful, yes, but only a dragon. I do know that there's another dragon. He's not as big, but he's like insanely powerful. Because that's the one thing I know about it, is like the size of the creature does not relate to the proportionate amount of power the creature has. Though to be fair, this is one thing I wanted. You brought up how you like environmental storytelling, and that's what drew you into Elden Ring. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say this is pretty good environmental storytelling. I think one of the things that's like a very popular thing in fantasy is like the ruins left behind thing, where it's, if you know what I mean, where it's like you're not looking at a place that was in while it's in its prime. You're always looking at like what's left of all of it. Like you're looking at the remains of something that was once great. That sort of deal. Lord Faldrax, a lord of the lands between, before the Elden Lord even existed. I remember there's a big debate around that, because I believe the thing is, it's called that Faldrax is called like the first Elden Lord, but that's contradictory because there's another dude that is called the first Elden Lord. But I think the reason why is that the term Elden Lord is probably before the Lands Between was like as big as it was. This is my own hypothesis. It's not based on anything. But if I had to guess, I think the reason why Faldrax is is called the first Elden Lord is because the title of Elden Lord originates from the dragons, if I had to take a guess at it. And when it was taken, like when that most likely Faldrax lost one of his heads, that was probably Horalu that did that. And then that's what gave him the title of Elden Lord. If I had to take a guess, Elden Lords possess the Elden Ring. Dragons don't have that. Yeah, I get that. It's hard to say. I'm not, again, I'm not exactly a historian, so I'm not the best at this sort of thing. But it's so fun to ponder. All right, there's a kind of a boss here, so we gotta prep up for it. You see how we can summon the mimic? That's how you know there's a boss. These things are so weird. Like, there's so much about them that I just do not understand. Let's get the stamina back. Ah, crap. Oh, that could have ended horribly. Oh, the Mimic got it. Good job, Mimic. Man, I'm doing myself proud. Godfrey did indeed mess up that Dragon Lord. He is now missing about 4 to 5 heads, horribly injured, and missing a part of his tail. I thought he only had 3 heads. I thought it was that he had 3 heads and that Godfrey ripped off one of the heads. I thought that was the case. I also do know that Godfrey is a Tarnished like us. And he's sort of like the progenitor to Tarnish, if I remember correctly. Like, he was not only the first Elden Lord, I think he was the first Tarnished. And it is because of him that Tarnished exists in the first place. And it took me a while to figure this one out, but I think Tarnished are one of the few, like, people that when they are felled, because death isn't really a thing here, when they're felled, their soul and stuff doesn't just get absorbed by that. Because I know that's the thing, is like death is not actually a big, like, just they call it destined death. And it's that when you die in this world, if you're not a Tarnished, the remains of your soul get eaten by that thing, basically. You're right, whoops, I over-exaggerated. He's missing 2 to 3 heads on his character model. 2 neck stumps are visible. Ah. Okay, I was mistaken. Alright, this dude is kind of tough. So let's handle this with a bit of tact. You can't stab him in the back, unfortunately. I also don't think they stagger. Never mind. They do stagger. Back it up. I said back it up. Ouch. My sir, that is a spear, not a drill. That was a risky maneuver, but I got it. I think you get a good reward from this. But Pop Dog, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that's like the whole thing of like what Ronnie's trying to do. She wants to bring destined death and, well, not Ronnie, but why can I not remember her name? She's the lady that's been helping us out the whole time. She was like, I'll play the part of America. Not the queen. Not like the queen. It's Melania. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Melania. I hope I'm saying that right. Melania. But yes, I'm very bad with names. She is like, one thing she wants to do is bring back destined death, because that's supposed to help us slay the final boss. That's the thing, is because if you try to kill the final boss without destined death being returned to the world, technically they would just get reborn through the Erd tree. Because the way the Erd tree has been operating is that because there's no destined death, there's nowhere for their souls to go. So they're just sort of stuck in a perpetual physical limbo where they die, they come back to die again, and this cycle kind of keeps going up until eventually it rots away and you get absorbed by the Erd tree, which is why the Halleck tree is dead, because it basically ran out of food. I think that was like the case. The pronunciation is belonging to the Queen of Rods. Ah. Oh, sorry, no, I'm not thinking of Melania. Melania is the one with the big sword. The one that makes you want to die. There's so many names, and I forget all of them. Which, by the way, I do plan to fight Melania. I do plan to fight Melania. You know, Blade of Mikola. Also, I am also so excited for the DLC. I look forward to seeing where that comes, where that goes. Bleh. I also do not remember where I'm supposed to go in this place. This place is so massive, it's so easy to get lost. I'm actually gonna head back to this spot and freshen up before moving on to the next part of this. Let's see. I might as well go ahead and throw something into intelligence. Just give that damage even more absurd than it already is. Let's see, how much does strength increase stuff? Kind of a 1 point to everything kind of deal. Same thing with dexterity. I think I'll go ahead and just boost dexterity so that we can eventually get to the point where we can use the Moonveil Greatsword. Not Moonveil. Not Greatsword. The Moonveil Katana as well. Death is a bit confusing lore-wise. But yes, Destined Death Rune being sealed away is what keeps everyone from dying. With it back, Marika, that's it, is done for. But it was part of her plan. Well, that's something I remember is like, if you use the frenzied flame instead of to kindle the fire instead of her, she hates you for it. Because I think something that's the case is it's sort of her destiny being, I think, of her bloodline or whatever it might be, that she is supposed to be the only way that that lights back up and brings Destined Death back. I think that's the thing. And when you use the frenzied flame, there's two things that happen there. One, you're using essentially the essence of an evil Eldritchian monster to fuel the next generation of Elden Lord. And you deny her purpose and destiny. Like, you deny her the thing that she wants most, which is pretty good grounds for her to hate you for, if we're being, like, transparent with that one. That big area right there, there's a boss. And I'm probably not going to end up fighting it because I'll either A, forget, because I'm not going to be going to it right now, or B, I just don't want to fight it. Why do I feel like I just heard... Aha. I do not need you in my way, thank you. I do love that great swords can just guard break. It's great. These guys are kind of tougher. Ow. Oh, there's a dude with a bow. Hang on. Oh, he still managed to get me from there. Ow. Bow users. She hates you for it because all life is ended. I don't actually know how she will feel about you sparing her than curing yourself to become Elden Lord. Well, you still technically fuel the frenzied flame, which is sort of a big problem. Because I've seen debates on what the frenzied flame is, and the closest thing I saw that was that I could understand is that it's essentially similar to the Greater Will, which is this outer divine being thing. Can I not? Did my controller give up again? Yes, it did. Okay. but it's sort of like this divine outer being thing. But it's like the only purpose that the frenzied flame has is basically burn everything and have everything go mad. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, that's kind of the gist I get from the frenzied flame. Something I think is interesting, though, about it mechanically, burn it all and start over from 0. I don't even think it's start over. I think it's just burn it all, period. I think that's the start and end of its motivation. And if you go down the frenzied flame ending, you essentially become like the avatar of the frenzied flame. Anyway, it's kind of wild. It gets pretty out there. The thing that I am still confused about, and it's not surprising because I think most people are still confused about it, is what are the 3 fingers, and were they originally part of the 2 fingers? Because there's a popular theory that the 2 fingers and the 3 fingers are like 2 halves of a whole thing. But I don't know for certain. The frenzied flame was called or made, I don't know which, from the suffering of the underground merchants. They hate everything and everyone because why should only they suffer? Burn it down and melt it all back into one. I do remember that being a thing. Is its primary characteristics is burn everything so that it is all one. And the other characteristic I recognize is that embrace madness. Like, that's the other thing I do know, is that it's burn everything down and embrace madness. Those are the 2 defining characteristics of the frenzied flame. And the thing that makes it so interesting mechanically is that it's faith-based. Like, all frenzied flame stuff is like it's incantation. It's faith-based, which I think is fascinating because it's the idea that it is fueled by your faith in it. Like, your faith in the frenzied flame is what gives it power. Your own willingness to fall to madness and burn everything is like its strength. Mechanically, that's kind of, I just think that's very interesting storytelling, because they use the mechanics of the way it works to kind of narratively tell what's going on with it. Which is why the dragon incantations are some of my favorites, because they're incantations, which means they are faith-based, but they have a little bit of everything. They've got a bit of arcane, faith, and intelligence. So you need to understand, like, magic, you need to understand faith, and you've got to understand, like, the outer stuff. Dragons are kind of like, they need a little bit of everything. It's mostly faith-based, but they need a little bit of everything. I think dragons in the Elden Ring game is so fascinating. They always, from what I understand from many FromSoft games, dragons have always been like a big point of importance when it comes to things. Like, it's always a drawback with their power is you are going to lose something in your attempts to gain the powers that dragons possess. It's very much like a devil's contract kind of deal. Don't forget, however, Frenzied Flame Seal is also strength, kind of like the finger seal. Yeah. Well, that's because like the 3 fingers, if I recall correctly, the three fingers are like the not avatar, but like the communicator to the frenzied flame, much like how the 2 fingers are the communicator to the greater will. Alright, let's take this out. Huh? Man just triple shotted me with an arrow and deleted me. Okay. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. God's obliteration beam. Man said divine smite 3 times consecutively. I believe it was 3 arrows shot, but I could be wrong. Alright, so the lore talk, while it is fun, it is definitely getting me distracted. I need to pay attention. Also, I probably just lost a ton of runes just then, but that's okay. I know better now. Ow. Uncalled for. Where's the lever? Isn't there supposed to be a lever or something around here? Ah, there it is. Ow. That was weirdly hard for me to see for some reason. But yeah, the lore of this game is weird, it's wild, and it's a lot of fun. One thing I do kind of have a vague memory on is that... I'm back. Was there a question? I have one now that you might be able to answer, because it's something I myself have not even gotten a clue or even a hypothesis to try and figure out properly. And it's, who are we exactly in all of this? Like, I know we are a tarnished. We're a tarnished warrior. But I don't exactly know, like, who we are specifically. Like, what our stake in this is and what drove us to be on this quest. My assumption is that it is a thing of tarnished in general, that the tarnished are all seeking to become in some way Elden Lord or close enough to it. Well, what's your class when you first started? Barbarian. I picked the Barbarian class because... Wait, no. Maybe I picked the Samurai one? I actually can't remember. No, yeah. I picked the Samurai one because I have the 2 katana. I have 2 katanas instead of 1. I remember that now. I am so sorry. I did not... I got that wrong. You can check in your stats. I remember now. I picked the Samurai one because I was going for a bleed build initially. So our stake in this, our position of this situation is different based on what we pick at the beginning? You need to die, sir. No, 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 no. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here. If I lead them out one at a time, it should be a bit easier. Also, my runes are right there. Oh, come on. You have a slither of health left. Okay. Oh, no, I did not need one of you guys. Fighting tons of you at once is the thing I do not really want right now. Okay. Your turn. Okay. But yeah, the only basis I have is like an understanding. I know I'm trying to back away from the lore talk right now because it is getting me a little bit sidetracked. The only basis I have is that because we're tarnished, it's something that's sort of like a part of us, I think. It's like all tarnished are sort of seeking that specifically. Wait, nope, I'm gonna die. Not that I, as a player, really need much of a motivator to progress forward, because I do like the process of having a goal in mind to go for. But it's just something I've not properly figured out as like playing the game is I don't actually know why my character is on this quest. I think it's meant to be ambiguous like that, but I don't know. I'm just kind of curious. That one is a bit difficult to answer, but I can try. So we don't actually know a lot about the lands of reeds, but here's my personal theory. You are a descendant of a person from the land of reeds, an enemy nation to the lands between, perhaps out of promises to your nation or to your caretaker. You wish to conquer the lands between, to bring peace to your own land, or you wish to conquer your land for taking from your descendants. So there's actually like an individual background motivation for every variation. That's interesting. I didn't notice that before. I didn't read the proper forms of the flavor text. I am also horrendously lost. I do not know where I am going. But thank you for the info dump there, Pop Dog. One thing I do know, or assume, I shouldn't say no, I should say, one thing I think I understand is that Godfrey and Horalu, they're both the same person. I do know that, but Horalu, I think, was like the original name that Godfrey went by, which was like this war chief warrior guy. I don't know the full context to it, but I believe that was the case. And then I think he fights Feldrax and becomes Elden Lord, and then he changes his name to Godfrey. Why he does that, I don't know. Like I said, we don't know the lands of Reeds, so I could be horrendously wrong. And the lands of Reeds is literal lands of Reeds where people love the blood. Okay. Well, like we just mentioned a little bit ago, it's left very ambiguous, and I think that's on purpose. I think the whole point to it is that it's left to where you can sort of insert whatever story that you want for your character. I think that's sort of one of the things about it, because you can have multiple varied endings, each of different levels of like, man, what's going to happen next kind of deal. For me, the ending I like a lot just because the cutscene's really pretty. And also because it's something we're not just doing on our own, is the what's the thing called again? It's the Age of the Stars or something of that nature. The Age of the Stars is one of the ones I like a lot. It's very odd as to like, what does this mean? Kind of deal. Like, what are the greater implications of this as a storyline? But I'm also like, it's just kind of cool. Wait, is there a thing up here? There is a thing up here. I can help answer that. Blood sounds nice. Hi, Violence. I should have guessed you would show up sooner rather than later. Well, let me rephrase that. I should have known that you would have shown up. So I can't exactly say that you showed up sooner. Alright. I could go for some blood. Ease up on it. Ease up on that there. Alright, let's see. Think this is the right direction? I showered up later, indeed. I showed up later. I am dyslexic, and it's dumb. Man, where in the world am I supposed to go? I'm gonna just try and blaze past some of these guys, because I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. It's been such a long time, I don't remember, like, where stuff is. Ow. Ow. The Age of Stars is an age without gods. It's full of uncertainty. That's why the cutscene music is so foreboding. We don't know what comes after this. Anyone can make their own path now. Right, I do know that's like the big thing is Ronnie's whole thing is that she wants to sever the ties with the greater will entirely. Like, that is the thing she wants most, is to sever her ties with everyone's, compliance and ties with the greater will, because from her perspective, the only thing it has brought is endless suffering. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I need to actually start going somewhere. I wish I could take Torrent out and just kind of blaze through this a little faster. I don't think I'm going to worry about the runes right now. I can always get more runes. Anyway, I can elaborate on the Lands of Reeds more if you'd like. Nah, it's all good. Let's, I feel like we've gotten distracted enough at this point. So let's kind of reel it back a little bit so that we're not as, like, off. I know we're talking more about Elden Ring, and that's technically still staying on track, but we're sort of out of our current position. You know what I mean? Let's see. Do I go through those gates? I cannot remember for the life of me where I'm supposed to be heading. I do not know where I'm supposed to go. Am I allowed to backseat? Oh yeah, go ahead. I've played this game before. I just do not remember where things are. I can do that too. Can you do this? But yeah, do you see a no backseating tag on there? I do not mind. I am all for getting myself to know where I need to go. So the place where you fought the big tree has a grace. That's where you go up a path to climb a big dragon. Okay. Let me just check something really quick, and I'll go and do that because I can't remember if this is a thing. Okay, no, it is not. Okay. Wanted to check just to be sure. So I fought the tree sentinel thing right around here. So you're saying there's a site of grace around here. Okay. And I assume... Yeah, I'm remembering now. Thank you so much, Pop Dog. That helped me out tremendously. I am now no longer a lost puppy. I also forgot about that dude. Just sort of chilling. I also forgot that there was more than one dude. Ouch. Hey, want to become evil? Nah. I do not wish to go down the path of the frenzied flame. I choose not to do that. If that's the thing you were going to suggest. I'm trying to play a game in a different tab while watching. Every time I interact on the screen, your stream takes up the entire screen for 5 seconds enlarged. Astral stream jump scare, I guess. Also, 145. We are at a good number. Why is that a good number? Because 45 is one of the numbers that I like. For some reason. It just hits the right part for me. And the other number, 46, also same thing. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love twos. I think things in pairs are always something that people like. 2 is such a goated number. I didn't expect such a hard statement on the number 2, but all right. This is precisely what my friend said. Oh, that is precisely what my friend said. Your friend is based. They understand. Okay. So do I just charge forward, I guess? Ah, jeez, you hit way too dang hard. Oh. It's a little pocket over here. Hi. Ah! I tried to do a risky maneuver. This build's very good for large enemies. It does not feel very good for many small enemies. The arrow guy can aim upwards, by the way. Keep that in mind while you climb. Well, I plan to try and kill them beforehand, anyway. All right. 146. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think your problem is that you're not two-handing your weapon. That could probably help a bit, because I do believe that gives it a bit of a boost in damage. Because they did give that a buff, if I remember correctly, a good while ago. So if I just do this, perhaps it'll be a bit more help. All right. I'm going to drink this just so that if that first hit tacks in, it's not going to be as painful. Ow. Let me through. I don't wish to fight you. Okay. Why you... Okay, maybe I can just sneak past him because that dude is being goofy. Climb? Please? I do not ask much. Two-handing always makes your weapon stronger. If they buffed it, that's cool. Okay. I do know that there's a thing where it's like, in some cases, if you do not have the strength requirement for something like the Colossal Greatsword, you can two-hand it, and then you do meet the requirements, because there's like a thing for that, which is a good mechanic. At least in my opinion, that is a good mechanic. I think there's another side of Grace about to show up pretty soon. Let me make sure that he's the only one. Ouch. Ow, ow. Flinch, dang it. Why did you do 3 consecutive ones? Why couldn't you have just done one jab and have been done? Yeesh. Yeah, it adds like 5 strength, I think, at least to the requirements. You... highly uncalled for. All right, we got to be careful in this next upcoming bit. Also, I'm going to just do something real quick, because I got a few of these, and I might as well use them. How many is this going to give me? A good amount. A very good amount, it would seem. And I have apparently 2 of them. Okay, no, the other one was a different one. I should have guessed that by the fact that it didn't stack. They looked similar. I kind of wish there was just like a way I could select. Hang on. Yeah, I wish there was a way I could just select like a bunch of them and then just say use all of them. But as it stands, as far as I'm aware, you can only do that if they like are in a stack, like this one. I can use 2 of them and then just go boop. Reminder: Golden Guy is immune for frost, I think. Well, luckily, the only thing I think this thing does, it doesn't do frost damage. It just does frost buildup. And we don't rely on that too much, I don't think. I could very well be wrong, though. I keep just spamming A, and it causes me to jump when the process gets done. Yeah, it does magic damage. Although frost damage doesn't exist, only frost buildup. Yeah, that's what that's what I thought. Wait, was there more than one of those? Okay, not to worry about. I'm actually going to keep the remembrance of the natural born for now. I know there's a lot of runes to it, but I'm gonna keep it for now. Okay, so I can boost this up to 20, and I'm gonna go ahead and boost my vigor a bit. There we go. We're at level 92 now, so we're actually decently leveled at this point. Now, if I recall correctly, there's... At the tip of that spear there's an item that I can pick up. And I think I'll try to do that. I forgot you existed. I cannot summon my mimic tier. I hope there are not a lot of things around to get in my way with this one. There in fact are. That's peachy. Luckily, this thing too still flinches. And the horn players don't seem to be too bothered. Well, they might be bothered by when that guy kills them. And this is why you pop the shield potion. Drink your potions and do not die. Woo! I love this sword. Walk past him, it ain't worth it. The suffering is too much. What was that you were saying? That is what we call a first try attempt. Okay, it seems like PTSD is what got me scared. To be fair, I understand that. This guy has killed me on multiple times, but I wasn't using this thing before. Does he respawn if I do this is my question. Nope. No, he does not. We don't gotta fight him again. No, let me see. I think I can just sort of saunter under yonder and be just fine. I forget what's in this spot. It's not where we need to be right now, so we won't worry about it. And I'm also not going to worry about these things. I'm just gonna walk past them because these guys are not worth fighting on this area. It is not them that is the fear. It is the flippin' fall that comes after. How many of them are behind me? A decent number to be concerned. Are they going to follow me in here? No, they're not. Thank goodness. Hi, Godfrey. Ow. Okay. I never knew that? You never knew what exactly? I must have missed something there. Or were you being cheeky? Woo! Nice. Ah, look at the mimic. Good job, Mimic. You do me proud. Alrighty then. Let's rest up and ready. Do we have enough runes from that to level up again? Yes, we do. We can do it twice. So I'm thinking just maybe funneling HP is probably a good idea, but I'm gonna just go for 2 into Dex maybe. Strength would give me a boost to physical resistances, but this would give me a boost to damage overall. So we've got some options. They actually could have followed you inside if you weren't fast enough to start the fight. Oof. Glad that didn't happen then. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and just boost up dexterity because it will boost the body stuff and damage. Yeah. It doesn't boost damage as much as intelligence would, but we are trying to also get to the point where we can use the moon veil as well. Which I should check to see if we are at that point where we could also use the moon veil. We can use the moon veil. Now, there's a reason why I specifically wanted to also get the moon veil. The great sword is good for like staggering the enemy and opening him to like a finisher hit thing. Well, I say finisher, but like to the big hit that they get when they fall down. But this is good for bleeding the enemy. You should grab the spear of Grenix so you can spell it correctly. Maybe I'll pick that up. Maybe. It will depend. It will, in fact, depend. So I think at this point, it's just sort of a straight-ish path. Yeah, we just sort of go this way. Yeah, and there's a boss right there. I think we actually get the option to summon I forgot about you. Also, if you really want to bleed, I suggest upgrading some of the arcane too. Does arcane affect that one as well? because it doesn't have that and the scaling factor, so I don't know. I mean, it makes sense. Arcane is supposed to scale bleeding. That's supposed to be the whole thing. In any case, I'm gonna stick with the Dark Moon Greatsword because it's cool. Greatswords are probably my favorite type of weapon. Katanas are probably my second favorite type of weapon in Elden Ring. There's just something cool about swinging around a really big sword that is just super appealing to me. Yeah, okay, she does show up here. I know it's like the summons thing is one of those things in Elden Ring where it's like, you don't need summons, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why not? Like, why can't I go ahead and just have a summons? There's nothing wrong with it. Arcane increases all build, poison, and rot. Probably Deathblight and probably Frost. I would also probably bet that as well. Hello, friend. Let us get ready. We're about to watch this turn into an RTS, basically. All right, cutscene.
Graceless, tarnished.
What is thy business with these thrones? Godric the Golden. The twin prodigies, Mikola and Melania. General Radahn.
Praetor Rykard.
What's Praetor Rykard?
Luna Princess Rani. Willful traitors, all.
I feel like you could say that about Ronnie, but probably not Radahn.
Thy
Radahn is kind of
kind
like
are all
super
of
dedicated.
peace. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition.
I love the way this crumbles.
Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Felled by King Morgoth, last of all kings.
Now that's a bold statement. There is Melina. Ouch. I'll read your comment in a second. Oh, I forgot he does this.
The throne, stained by my curse, such it cannot bear. Thy part in this shall not be forgiven.
Something that's interesting is that only him and Godric leave behind a body. Godric has like a barely a torso and a head. And he has a whole body that's like mummified and fading. Now, I'm fairly certain this is more a storytelling reason and that they all actually do leave behind some sort of like body. But Melania leaves behind like the big rot flower thing. So it's interesting. So what were you saying? Radon left the capital to fuel his own need for the Elden Ring, raising his own banner. The capital defends the Erd Tree, so he betrays the Erd Tree too. I see. Not the chair. I think you're either overqualified or overleveled. I think you are just I think you're just good. I don't know. It's implied they do leave bodies, but they also do fade away. That is one thing I do think is the case. Though some of them leave stronger stuff behind. Like Melania leaves behind the giant rot flower thing because she's like she is like I think the progenitor to the scarlet rot, which is like a blessing and a curse, but mostly a curse.
Tarnished. Thou art but a fool. The Erd Tree wards off all who deign approach. We are all forsaken.
Impenetrable thorns refuse all. None may enter the Erd Tree. I really wish that he would just kind of stay there. But I know he doesn't. It's a shame that he doesn't just kind of stick there. But I understand why they wouldn't add that.
Hello again, old friend.
Oh, maybe he does.
Allow me a moment to converse with you. You were unable to enter the Erd Tree.
My foot is right
Prevented
under
by
that
the
side of
mantle
grace.
Barbs. The thorns are impenetrable, a husk of the Erd Tree's being that spurns all that exists without. The only way to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord is to pass the thorns. My purpose serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey with me to the Flame of Ruin, far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountain tops of the giants. Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you down the path to becoming Elden Lord.
What have you to say?
I wish to journey with you once more to the Flame of Ruin, far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountain tops, then, and guide you.
Alright.
Shall I turn your let my hand rest? Share them.
This will
with
probably
me.
be the last time that she actually
Your
will do this
thoughts,
for us because
Your ambitions,
stuff
the
happens.
principles you would follow.
Let's see. Intelligence is probably the best one to go for here. Yeah, we'll go for well, let's do 1 point to intelligence and then 1 to vigor. I'm also going to just go ahead and drop these for now because they're not really that necessary for me. Okay, so. There's a thing I want to try before we begin to close down stream because we're approaching the end at this point, but there's a couple of things. There's a one or two things left I want to try. First is this way, I believe.
No. I need to do better than this. This will never kill a god. I can do better than this. It needs to slay a bloody god. Oh, it's you. Don't pay me any mind, it's not important. Just lay out your arms.
Let me see if I got anything to sell first and foremost. Okay. Cannot strengthen that. I can strengthen this. How far is the question? Only to 4. I need to figure out where I can get more somber smithing stones. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a couple of things from the remembrances that I got. Now, one is specific.
Well, you managed to return. You know what this means. The Earth Tree has spurned you. The fingers remain still, shaken by this turn of events. They are busy consulting the greater will. When they are finished, the fingers will again offer their guidance. But thousands, if not tens of thousands, of moons must first pass. No matter for me, but you. How will you ever manage the weight? My, oh my.
Thanks for the reminder. I kind of want to see. I forget what she reacts to when you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna burn the tree." Let's see. So you have a couple of things. You've got this Ash of War, which is usable on great axes, great hammers, great spears, and colossal weapons. And it's the Wave of Darkness. And then you've got this, which is a flail, which is, I don't really care for that. I kind of want to get the Ash of War and try it on one of the colossal great swords. Also, I saw the big snake BRB. You've also got this Regal Omen Baron. Uses FP to unleash many rays that chase down foes. Oh, is it an incantation? Is that what that is? Is that an incantation? Or is it an item? Oh, it's an item. Huh. I don't usually get stuff from these guys. You know what? I might just go ahead and convert them both into runes.
Now go forth.
There's not really anything that they have that I want to get my hands on. So I'll just go ahead and just Bye-bye. I thought Estelle had a spell, not an Ash of War. See, I don't think that's enough to level up again. I think we're at the point where it's like you're gonna need a lot to level up. Okay, no, we got enough to level up once, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw that into intelligence. Now, before we close things out, I want to test drive the Moon Veil, because I know it scales on intelligence well, and I think you can kind of finesse it a bit to where you can use the Greatsword and the Moon Veil as needed. And in my case, it's going to be one of those, I sort of will just pick and choose whichever I feel like picking or choosing. It doesn't have the same kind of scaling because I don't have the somber stuff. We're at +7 on this, which is good, but this one's only a +3, so it's not going to deal as much damage. But it has bleed proc, so we'll just see how that goes. If I put it in 2 hands, we've got the classics, like so. So we're going to go ahead and just test out that Ash of War and see how it goes. Alright, so if I do this... Okay, that doesn't go as far. Okay, caused like a stagger. Okay. That handled it decently well. Let me try again. It's really heavy on the FP usage. That's one thing I do notice. It's very heavy on the FP usage. Ouch. I do love the way it feels, though. It has a very good feel to it when you're using the weapon. Damage-wise, though, I'm thinking that the Greatsword might be like a better overall damage potential factor going on. Though this definitely gets good staggers off. It has more FP cost. So let's see, pros and cons. Pros are it has bleed, which is great. It's got good hit ratio, so it can hit things pretty quickly. If you two-hand it, it'll do a little bit better, I think. It's got good, decent damage on its own, but this is sort of where it's doing its bread and butter. Now, the question I have is the beam building up bleed? Because I don't know. Okay. I nearly got hit there. Alright. Let's switch it out and see how we're feeling on this one. Because you do have to sheath the blade every single time. That's sort of the downside to it. In 3 swings, it takes it out. So it's definitely, like, able to deal more damage in a shorter period of time. Ah, it's such a tough one. Because the way they both feel is pretty good. I think it's going to have to come down to like how quickly it dispatches foes. And in that case, I do think that the Dark Moon Greatsword might be a bit better. I'll have to kind of analyze it a bit more, but really it's going to come down to which one feels the best to use. For right now, the Dark Moon Greatsword is definitely occupying that. This feels great to use. Like, it just has that motif it's just not motif, it has that feel for it. It can charge up decently well. It doesn't use a lot of MP for you to be able to continuously just do this over and over and over again. It has great damage overall based scaling on your intelligence and if you want dex or strength. And to top it off, it has a very good moveset by being a greatsword. Greatswords, in my opinion, have some of the best movesets in the game, so you can just really hammer it in. And it has the stun potential going for it as well. It's really good at putting enemies in stun. The Moon Veil seems to do a lot as well. The Moon Veil has the bleeding proc, which is good. If you work with some of your arcane, you can get that bleed to be mean. I think the comparison here that is making it difficult is the fact that this is a +3 and this is a +7. There's a bit of a disparity difference between the two. Not disparity, I cannot think of the word I'm actually trying to think of, so just excuse my ineptitude. And just say the difference of level is definitely going to be affecting that. That being said, that's going to be all for today. I definitely do not know what I'm saying half the time, so don't take my words like straight on. I have difficulty conveying what I'm thinking sometimes. In any case, thanks everybody for showing up and just having a good time with me. This has been fun. I am itching to get to the next stage. We are rapidly approaching the perceivable end to the game, and I am just